So in this episode, I'm actually going to take a look at the IPaz Bluetooth backlit keyboard and just see how it compares to the Logitech K400 and another mini Bluetooth keyboard. So I am going to be using this IPaz Bluetooth keyboard. You've probably seen in the first Raspberry Pi portable episode. I'm going to be using that as my keyboard for the project. And it is Bluetooth, little Bluetooth dongle that it comes with. Has the Trackpad, which is also doubles as a number pad, and it is backlit as well. Fairly light, little bit of flex. I don't know if you can see that there. Quite a decent amount of flex in this particular keyboard. And one of the things you might be able to see it just there, the Alt key. So this one here, it's just a whisker taller and not quite dead straight. That's actually my doing, because when this one was shipped to me, the small bridge mechanism, there's a little bridge mechanism underneath each key which helps the key come up and down evenly, was gone, and the Alt key was actually sitting in that space upside down. I don't think it was a manufacturing issue. I actually think it copped a bit of pounding during shipping, but I couldn't send it back and get another one, so I've just fixed that up with a bit of silicone. But for my purposes, that's okay. I'll probably never use that key anyway. So just having a look at the physical dimensions of the keyboard itself. 313mm long. You're talking 112mm high. There's a bulbous part at the back. That part there sits around about 20mm to the top of the keys and about 18mm to the face of the top part of the keyboard. And the thinner part, that is around about 7mm total thickness and an extra 1.5–2mm key height. The keystroke itself is fairly decent. So you can see you get around about 3mm of travel on those keys. It's not too bad at all. And as far as working on that keyboard, like typing literally all day, it's around about the same as the K400. The keys look a little different. They're more like more modern laptop styles, like an Apple MacBook, right, as opposed to the older style on the K400, but it is reasonably pleasant to type on. It also comes with this section over here, which doubles as the touchpad, right, from anywhere below here. This is the touchpad. It also doubles as a number pad. You activate the number pad by holding your finger over the mouse icon there and swiping over to the number. This then turns into the number pad, and you reverse the process and that turns that back into a mouse. You've also got a backspace key there, enter key, and so on. The other features on this keyboard, just as we move our way around, obviously got a function key down in the bottom corner, bottom left-hand corner, and that will activate most of these white drawn. So there's a white section drawn into these keys here, as well as these ones over here. And holding the function key activates all of those. You've got insert functions, you've got volume controls here, you've got media control buttons here, you've got a zoom function there, the mail function, and the 3 backlight options. This one does have 12 levels of backlighting. By holding down the function key and hitting one of those 3 buttons, you get a green, a red, or a blue. And by hitting the other buttons after you've selected green, red, or blue, it will give you tones within those levels. So there's 12 levels of backlighting altogether. So just color gradients. Okay, and there's one interesting thing to note that is significantly different to the K400 Logitech, or even this little Bluetooth RII keyboard here. Right, the main difference is Logitech has clickable buttons. This IPaz keyboard does not. Now, when you're doing single click or click and drag something around the screen, that's not a problem. What if you want to right click? Well, there is actually no right click on this keyboard. There is a way to do it. 3 fingers tapping on the keyboard at the same time, 3 fingers tapping on the trackpad at the same time gives you an equivalent right click. So So as I've mentioned, this keyboard's got backlighting. When you compare the backlighting to the backlight that you get through this little RII keyboard, it's actually not as good. This one, the small one's better because the backlighting comes through the keys significantly better. It is okay on the IPazzPort keyboard, but it is not fantastic. It's not what you would want to be looking at all night. So the backlighting on the small keyboard is actually better, and something like on the Samsung 9 or on a MacBook, the backlighting on those keyboards is better. But it does have it, and you can see it with no ambient light. Apart from that, like I've mentioned, the keyboard travel itself is actually fairly good. You do have the right click option once you figure out how it works. Single click and mouse dragging on the trackpad is quite good. The number pad function works reasonably well, and it is fairly light, fairly thin, and runs on 3 AAA batteries. And as you've seen there, comes with the Bluetooth adapter, a little bit larger than the Logitech one, but works nonetheless. So that's about it. Quick walk around the IPazzPort Bluetooth backlit keyboard with trackpad. Hopefully that was useful, and I hope to see you again next time. So thanks very much for joining me and watching the show. Subscribers are always welcome, so feel free to subscribe. That would be great, and I hope you'll join me again next week.